Hey guys, so um basically like in this video I'm going to talk about how retention is basically like a video game, like an interactive video game. And I'm going to explain why in this video. And it's very interesting, the stuff I'm about to tell you. So basically, when you go further in this journey on retention, you're going to get certain abilities and certain things almost that you can do that normally you couldn't do in life. And in this video, I'm going to tell you about some of those things that you can do. So basically, in this world of retention, right, you can interact with things in the environment that give you certain abilities, right, basically. And, it sounds pretty crazy and it sounds, you know, unplausible. However, like, I'm going to explain to you some of the benefits I've gotten on this journey. It's very interesting, very fascinating. So one of the abilities you get is basically a heightened awareness of this reality. Basically, one of the abilities is basically when you interact with like trees. We'll give an example of trees. So you can kind of meditate on meditate, and then you close your eyes. You're, near a tree. You can get closed-eyed visuals. You might get a like increased energy frequency, even physical exertion frequency. One of the abilities on retention also is, well, let's just do that. So with plants, with trees, with basically with plants as well, and with like branches and like stuff like that, you can like touch that. You can get abilities from that too, and it's basically like interacting with that too. Um, Even when you play video games, you can get an increase in energy from that as well. When you do certain things, you'll get an increase in energy as well, and things will change around you. Like when you're reading information, maybe when you're building Legos, when you're working out, you can get an increase in energy from that, from retention. And it's basically like an ability, like you're playing a video game almost. Like once you crank out in a gym, think you get the ability of like a power up almost. So you get a power up from trees, you can get a power up from that. And then basically there's a thing called Spidey Sense that I like to call the Spidey Sense on retention, where it will highlight high vibrational energy frequencies in your environment. So it might highlight like a tree, it might highlight like plants, like a building. The thing will move, like there will be things moving on the building, kind of thing, like almost like a shroom trip in a way. And yeah, it gets kind of freaky. And then you can also read energy frequencies from computers, from TVs. You can see energy frequencies in the TV, and it gets really strange on this journey. I'm gonna say, if you go in a long enough streak, like past 30 days, it's gonna be a super eye-opening experience. But basically, even foods, it will highlight like the vibration of the food, of high vibrational foods, high energy frequency foods. So for example, like when I have cereal, it will like highlight the cereal, and it will like show like it like moving and stuff. And then like eggs, it will like highlight it like super bright yellow, like this is a thing you need to consume. Like fruit, even like watermelon, it will highlight that. So very fascinating stuff. And then also what retention is going to do is highlight like people's facial expressions. So I was at church, and it would highlight this girl's facial expressions, like in the face, details in the face I've really never seen before. But just to say that it's like high vibrational kind of like frequency that she was emitting out of her body. You can kind of like see what's going on when you interact with people. There's certain people you can interact with, and you can get a high vibration from those people too. Like they're going to be more receptive to what you're saying, and then they're going to increase your energy. So when they touch you, you can actually get energy from them. There was this female that I used to know, right? And then she would touch on me and this kind of stuff. We knew each other pretty well, and then she was like a mom. However, we were I kind of had a problem with like lusting with her. I'm not proud of it, but basically she was very high energy person, very good energy person, you could say. Basically, when she was touching me, I would get like energy frequency change, like very, very like noticeably. and then even like sound waves, like, so you can hear certain voice frequencies. um there's a semen retention YouTuber named Rin that I watch, and basically his frequency was like a God voice frequency where I could like hear more in his voice. Super interesting, by the way, super fascinating stuff. Like I could hear almost like God in his voice, like in a way I could hear like I don't know, just very, very higher frequency voices kind of thing. And then when I listen to hip hop music, I can hear it too, almost like an alien sound to someone's voice. Like I'll listen to like a certain rapper and it'd be like this guy's, has, you can hear the power in his voice. Like there's powerful kind of power inside his voice where you can like hear it and it's like, okay, he means what he's saying. Like he really knows what he's talking about. Even in video games, like you can kind of see, well, video games are different, but basically, it will even it will help. Semen retention will help you like move through a video game differently. Like you'll be able to play better and even like faster and get like upgraded in that. So in that, and like I said, in the gym, you'll get a power up from stuff. Basically, like you'll just like be better. Like you'll just feel better. Like you'll feel like this like God literally comes into your body almost kind of feeling. Like it's very, very interesting, very interesting. So even people's energy that you can feel people's energy, like when they're looking at you, you can feel their vibration. Like even from far away, you can, like, this woman was watching me from afar one time, and I could feel her energy frequency from very far away from me. So very interesting stuff like that. There's other stuff that you can pick up on in retention, on semen retention. But basically, it's an interactive environment in the world. You go about the world and it will highlight stuff even on the ground. Like there will be stuff on the ground moving and stuff like that. Like there's like moving stuff. You can see the detail in like the print on your finger when you do, after you do push-ups. What I noticed was detail in the print of the finger, and it was super detailed, and then it would like disappear, but it would be like super detailed. Like you would see it disappear and then see it appear, and it's just fascinating. Like even the water would look like an ocean, like super like detailed water, like sprinkles everywhere. It would just be like you could see like layers of the water that weren't even there before kind of thing on retention, which is super interesting. But even your mind, you can hear things, you can pick up on voices in your head and high frequencies. I talked about there's this one time where I heard God, and I was in my room and I heard God's voice, and I said, "Let me pray for you, Tanner." I opened my eyes and I thought it was my dad, and it was God, and it was a very high frequency voice. It was a muffled kind of distortion sound, and then it was like, and then he kept praying for me when I opened my eyes so I could still hear him, and then my chest, basically it turned super warm, like God was like healing my body, and I was like getting like a power up from God almost like in my chest. So that's another thing that you're going to feel on retention, is all of these kind of bizarro things like going on in the world, and you just and before you just wouldn't notice it, right? And so that's why I always say to just go on this journey. You guys really need to experience this for themselves, because you're not seeing the whole reality if you're just going to keep relapsing every few days. Like you got to keep going for the long run, and really see what this journey is all about. But that's really it for the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.